welcome to the Capital Compass. I'm Lindsay Melchak. Well, it has been a patient and persistent journey for Lahontan Gold, and exciting news recently released about the company's closure, private placement, and sale of common shares by Victoria Gold. So here with us is the fabulous Kimberly Ann, founder, director, president, and CEO of Lahontan Gold. So Kimberly Ann, let's begin first with welcome back, and second, wow. I mean, this is earth moving news, and I'm so excited to get into all of this with you. So, welcome.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be back with you guys.
Now, first off, bring us up to speed here. What is the latest with the Hauntons activities?
Yeah, I mean, such a great question. We've been working really hard behind the scenes with our permitting with our Santa Fe project, but also, as everybody knows, Victoria Gold had a large chunk of our company, over 50 million shares, 25% of our company. And with that difficult situation, we've been working really hard with the receivership, PwC, to move that block into friendly hands, our shareholders that have been very loyal to us from the beginning of the company, and we managed to accomplish that. So big deep breath there. When people say what's wrong with the company, they look at our stock price. Well, there's nothing wrong with the company. This overhang of this uncertainty certainly played into all of that. So having that moved is very fortunate for us and in good hands. But more importantly, now I can come out and talk to you, Lindsay, and others, and talk about what we're actually doing on the ground, how we're going to move this company to the next level.
Okay, so, I mean, the skies are clearing. Let's just say that for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, switch gears just a little bit. Lahontan has filed its PEA. For what?
Yeah.
So, what now? I mean, what key milestones are you targeting to advance the project?
Yeah, so when we put out our PEA, I mean, our PEA was very heavy detailed on the engineering side because we're deep in the weeds of the permitting process. So we cared more about all of that information being so detailed because without that, we couldn't get the permits, filed for moving dirt and how much electricity and things like that you would actually put in the PFS level. So that was fantastic. The numbers look good. The CapEx was only 135 million with a 20% contingency. The IR's 41%. Project life of mine is 9 years. It's just the starting point for the company that we like to see. Certainly, I always want it to be more than it is, but at the end of the day, getting that out to the public and allowing them to see it grow through the next 6 to 9 months is important to us. And we know from this document what the next steps are to make things better, to have, the mine life longer, to have the recoveries maybe 10% better than they are now because we have information and now we know where to go. So very critical for the company and for the public to see, here's our baseline and we're going to continue to move it forward.
So let's actually just expand on that a little bit and looking forward. What's Lahontan's outlook? What are the key objectives that you're focused on achieving in the coming months?
Yeah, so we're very focused, of course, on the permitting, but that's kind of quiet behind the scenes. So it's not really sexy stuff that people get to hear about so much because it's just, dealing with the government and going through these steps. It's very methodical. So we are doing all of that. Look, we have a new administration in. They are making some changes to streamline the process. I think it's going to be fantastic for the future of mining. That being said, we're so deep into the process. The concerns we always have is time. Time is never on your side. And so with these changes, we are staying on top of how does this affect our company? Does it affect it? So we're being very cautious of that. That being said, we have a fantastic West Santa Fe asset that we purchased for very low cost that is 15 kilometers away from Santa Fe proper. People are going to start to hear news about this. It's a great asset with sizability that we look at as a satellite operation. So we're going to get back to the drill rig and play over there. And then a sidecar of all that is we're working very closely with Kappes Cassidy to improve our metallurgical knowledge base so that we can start getting better recoveries. The recoveries are good now for the mine, but they always can be better. And we want this project to be as perfect as possible. So again, we're just doing all the work on the ground and I'm coupling it with a really hard push to get out there and meet with as many retail shareholders as we can, because our float is pretty small. It's only about 38% now that we've moved this block, and it's in great hands with these long-term investors, but that certainly doesn't move the needle of our stock. So the stock is very inexpensive right now. It's a great buy. We have a lot of good newsletter writers following us. Jay Taylor just put out a great report recently, the day after we traded 7 million shares or close to it. So people are listening, and that's the voices I want to be speaking to, so they understand we have a great asset in the Walker Lane with infrastructure, a past producer, and we're going for it. We're going to be moving this project forward, and people are going to see measurable milestones that we're going to be hitting. And whether we're hitting a milestone one week or the other, I'm still going to be doing videos, impromptu videos, to get it out there so people know, here we are, here's our process. It may not be a formal press release, but I'm still going to be giving the information all the time, because I do believe that if people can know what's going on all the time, then they feel comfortable with what we're doing on the ground.
Well, I love hearing all of that, especially, the impromptu videos too, that gives them a raw look at what is actually happening on the ground. I
Yeah.
have one more question for you. Given the uncertainty with the geopolitics and with, the threat of tariffs coming in across the board, how actually is Lahontan navigating through all of that?
Uh, well, we're doing okay right now because it's all just starting. But, we work in Nevada in the US. And when I raise funds, it's in US dollars. We already have a massive hurdle of discounting just from the dollar, 25% of everything we raise. So right now, we have a really lean and mean team. I know a lot of investors want to see a beefed up team, an engineer and a COO and all this. And I frankly just, at this point with our company, I don't believe in that. I believe in having fantastic consultants that I can control the dollars spent that direction, so that we get that knowledge, but I don't have, multiple $300,000 salaries we have going on. That with this situation, with the environment we're living in right now, it's so much is unknown. And I do think the Trump administration is going to be extremely aggressive for the next 4 years, because he has nothing to lose. And I think it's going to be good for all of us. But gold is soaring, as we know. It's hitting the majors. They're having a great time with this price. I think it's starting to hit the development stories, the known development stories, but the junior space it's not there yet. And the junior space, once it hits, it's going to go crazy like we've seen it do in the past. So my advice to so many shareholders is, buy every cheap stock in your portfolio that you believe in, because you can easily get a 10, 15, 20 bagger on these once it starts soaring, and who knows what the limit's going to be. And to me, the race is the next 4 years, because this is what we know. We know we have Trump in power. We know he's going to be aggressive. We know gold is backing everything right now. It frankly has for so long. Um, so, I'm excited to see when it hits the junior level, because I think we'll all be smiling a lot more when we see that happen. But for us on the ground, we're just going to continue to be methodical, get our things done. One thing we are going to be focused on beefing up is our board. As you know, we lost John McConnell off our board with the whole Victoria fiasco. So I'm now looking at critical board members that we could bring in that can help. I've been a part of building 3 mines. It's not like I can't do it, my team can't do it. But having more experts to bounce ideas off is always a great thing. So we're gonna look for having some key people on our board that can give us that technical background, capital markets background. I have an extensive amount of that. But yeah, so we're gonna be focused on that as a company.
Well, as always, Kimberly Ann, our conversation truly gold. See what I did?
Never enough time.
So thank you so much for joining me today and for all of the insights. It's been long overdue.
Thank you so much for having me.
Again, that was Kimberly Ann, founder, director, president, and CEO of Lahontan Gold. You can find them on the venture under the ticker symbol LG. And for more information on them, their website is lahontangoldcorp.com. I'm Lindsay Melchek. Tune in next time.